During the early years of the Cold War, the U.S. worked hard to convince Americans that the United States offered a better economy and a better society than any other nation in the world. America was presented at home as a land of opportunity where anyone who wanted it could achieve the American dream of a good education, a highly paid job, and home ownership. In America, an ordinary worker could own their own home, have a new car every few years, take their family on summer vacations, send their children to college, and retire in comfort. This was the image of American society that was sold both at home and abroad. Why sell this image abroad? Well, mostly to solidify trade in Europe and attract trading partners around the globe. We were competing with the Soviet Union for trading partners, so we needed the people of other nations to want to live like Americans and have access to American goods through trading partnerships. We also had to dispel the propaganda put out by the Soviet Union that capitalism created a two-tier society, with capitalists living in luxury while workers struggled. One of the actions the U.S. took was to create a movable exhibit called the People's Capitalism Exhibit and to take it around the world. The goal of this exhibit was to show the positive aspects of American capitalism. The exhibit tried to dispel the idea that capitalism only benefited the wealthy. According to one of the exhibit's slogans, in America, quote, everyone is a capitalist. The exhibit portrayed happy white middle-class families and happy, prosperous workers living in clean cities. While there were a few African Americans and other minorities present in some images in the exhibit, the emphasis was clearly to depict white middle-class America. This is one of the exhibit's panels. You can see the happy white middle-class family, well-dressed and smiling. This family was used to represent the average American family throughout the exhibit. The title says, People's Capitalism, A New Way of Living. The word people's is taken from the ideology of communism, that there is no private ownership of the means of production. Instead, the state holds the means of production in the name of the people. Communist China was literally the People's Republic of China. So the U.S. co-opted the word people and used it to argue that capitalism, too, belonged to the people, and that everyone benefited from that economic system. That idea is reinforced by the words at the bottom of the exhibit, which are, quote, of the people, by the people, and for the people. This panel shows the same happy American family and provides the history of American capitalism, while at the same time criticizing communism. The title of the panel is The Declaration of Independence Laid the Foundation. On the left is a copy of the Declaration of Independence. The text next to the Declaration says, the American society was founded on a belief in God and a conviction that, quote, all men are created equal, endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, end quote. On the right side of the panel is a painting of the signing of the Declaration and a text that reads, quote, the state exists only to serve the individual, not the reverse. The individual is our most precious resource, end quote. Both of these texts are taking shots at communism, first for its rejection of religion, and secondly for the idea that the collective is more important than the individual. This panel asserts that industrial workers in America receive life insurance, bank savings, pension funds, and stock ownership as benefits of the companies they work for. Of course, this was hardly true. and was never true unless the workers were unionized. When the exhibit showed in Moscow, Vice President Richard Nixon escorted Soviet Premier Nikita Khrushchev through the exhibit. When they came to a room displaying a modern kitchen, the two had a rather lively debate about values. Interestingly, both men argued the strength of their nation on the basis of the treatment of their women. Khrushchev argued that Soviet women were treated as equals to men and allowed to become doctors and scientists, while American women were treated as second-class citizens, denied access to the best universities, and generally confined to their homes. Nixon pointed out that American housewives had a wide range of appliances to make their lives easy, suggesting that every American housewife had a washer and dryer and that every kitchen was equipped with a dishwasher and garbage disposal. My family was solidly middle class in the 1950s. We didn't have a garbage disposal, but my mother did have 3 dishwashers, me and my 2 younger brothers. We had a washing machine, but our clothes were dried by the sun and the West Texas wind. In fact, none of my middle-class friends lived in families that owned dishwashers, garbage disposals, or clothes dryers.